Imagine you're managing a large factory, hospital, or busy shopping mall, and the lights get out, machines stop, and customers are frustrated. What if I told you there is a smart solution to prevent such a kind of chaos indirectly? And by giving you a crucial data to optimize your backup power. Meet the dual source energy meter embedded products, a device that precisely measures energy from your main grid and the backup power sources, helping you plan better, maintain backup systems, and keep your lights always on. Without it, we can lose the track of how much energy is coming from the grid or from the backup power, and we might overspend on the diesel or miss important maintenances. But with this clever little dual source energy meter, we know exactly how much energy a source uses, how can you save money, avoid downtime, and managing power like a pro. Now let's at first explore the important and crucial industries and the use cases where this dual source energy meter are used. And first one is the data centers. Data centers host critical infrastructure for internet services, cloud computation, financial transactions, and the communications across the enterprise networks. Even a brief interpretation result in a massive data loss, service downtime, financial penalties, and even a damaged reputation of well-known companies. And a dual source energy meter helps data centers precisely track energy consumption from primary and backup power systems like UPS, diesel generators, ensuring that backup systems are correctly sized, maintained, and reliable to handle the constant power outages. Next one comes the hospitals. Even in infrastructure like those of hospitals relies on continuous electricity to power the life critical equipments like ventilators, diagnostic machines, operation theaters, or the ICUs. A single power outage can threaten a patient's life. Dual source energy meter provides accurate insights into energy messages from both the main supply and the backup generators, helping hospitals maintain their generations efficiently and plan fuel needs accurately and ensure that emergency systems never fail when they are most needed. Third one is the factories and the manufacturing plants. Industries and the manufacturing plants depend heavily on the continuous power supply so as to avoid the production halts, material wastage, damage to the equipment and the machines of the factories because of the power failures, which can lead to the heavy financial losses. And dual source energy meters measure and monitor the power consumption separately for primary and the backup sources. This accurate data helps industries schedule generator maintenance, proactively optimizing the energy cost and reduce downtime, guaranteeing the smooth operations even during the unexpected power disruptions. Next one is the smart grid and the microgrids. In smart grids and the microgrid technologies, power doesn't come from just one place. We often have mix of sources, solar panels, wind turbines, diesel generators, and of course the main grid. And here the dual source energy meter plays a very important role for helping us track how much energy we are driving from each source. And that is super important for optimizing the power usage, managing costs, and ensuring stability, especially when we are shifting between a renewable and the conventional sources throughout the day. Now you might ask that in the case of solar or the microgrid, we might have used the net meters. The answer depends. In many industries, when the remote microgrids, power consumed is locally and energy is not exported back to the grid. And in that case, dual source energy meter plays useful role than net meter. But in some grid type systems, we can use both of them. More onto this in the upcoming video in which we will dwell into difference between dual source meter and the net meter. Now let's get into the question of what are the different types of dual source energy meters. First one is the single phase dual source energy meter. We typically find this in the homes, small offices, or the retail shops that uses a basic 230 volt power supply, just a line and a neutral wire. This meter can track how much power is coming from your main grid connection and how much power is coming from your solar inverters or the backup generator. It is cost effective, compact, does a job for the small systems. Second one is the three-phase dual source energy meter. But when we are talking about factories, hospitals, or the data centers, that is where this three-phase dual source energy meter comes into the picture. These meters are built to handle full 415 or even more systems, and they measure energy flow separately in three lines of electrical R, Y, P. For even more advanced diagnostics features like a power factor, load profiling, and energy logs per source. So, depending upon your shop, whether it's a small shop or it's a full-blown industrial city, there is a type of dual source energy meter for it. Now, before ending, let's get into the practical buying and the installation tips for the dual source energy meters. And these aren't theory tips, these are what your field team or the electrician will definitely ask before commissioning. First one is the CT selection and rating. First, we choose the right CTs. CT stand for current transformers, whether 100/5 ampere, 200/5 ampere, or higher. And always check that the CT polarity and direction during the installation. If these are reversed or disconnected, your meter readings will be completely off. Next one is the panel mounting and the space planning. Check your panels, electrical panels form factor, whether it is pin-rail mounting or need a full mounted meter. And once you confirm you have the enough space for your seating wiring, voltage tabs, and the communications cables, specifically compact power panels. Third one is the voltage input wiring and the source isolation. Each power source, grid or generator or solar must have a separate voltage input wiring to the meter. And this is very important. And always use proper protection devices like breakers or isolators to avoid accidents or damage during maintenance. And here is what we can actually use for our source isolations. MCBs, miniature circuit breakers for overcurrent protection of voltage input lines. Next one is the MCCBs for high current protection in large installations. Third is the rotary isolators or load break switches for safe manual disconnection during the servicing. And fourth one is the fuses or the disconnected blocks as backup source protection. Each source should have its own isolator or breaker clearly labeled. This helps during troubleshooting or calibration, so you can cut off just one source without shutting down the entire plant. And fourth one is the communication settings for the SCADA or the PMS integration. If you are connecting your dual source energy meter to a PMS, EMS or SCADA system, make sure to test the Modbus address, baud rate and parity correctly. Test it using Modbus scan or any standard software of RS485 or Ethernet depending upon your system. So that's the complete overview about the dual source energy meters, that what they are, how they are used, why they matter, and how to practically buy and install them like a pro. But this is not the end, it's just a beginning. In our next videos, we are going to get into latest technologies and innovations in the secure metering like AI-based analytics, IoT integration, embedded security features, and much more into the dual source energy meters. Till then, stay safe, stay happy, share this video to the maximum people who are into the power energy, industrial automation, or the AI and the security based technologies into the thriving technologies of this industry. Still then, stay safe, stay happy, and be skilled engineer and not just graduated one.